welcome to another episode of the Tenerife Pod. We are sponsored by VGR Solutions. I'm your host, I'm Jenny T, and I'm here with my boys. We have Steve Ballard.
It's Wingardium Leviosa.
I don't know what that means. What's that? Is that Harry
Potter? He was here, wasn't he?
On
Friday,
yeah.
so I thought I'd go with that. I was going to go, Avada Kedavra, but you can't do the killing curse on camera. That's just wrong.
I've never seen Harry Potter.
No,
never read Harry Potter. I know.
I've never read one of the books, but I've seen the films.
Yeah. I have read one of the books because someone forced me to, and then
what, at gunpoint?
Well, it was kind of like, yeah. And I was like, I think I lost a dare or something. I lost a bet, so I had to read it. And he wrote in at the end, "Now you are hooked. Go and get the next book."
And you
apart from Olivia Attwood, what do you actually watch on television? Because anything we've ever spoken about,
no, I've never seen it. I haven't seen no Star Wars, no Harry Potter. What is going on in your life?
No Marvel.
No, I know.
I actually watched something with Daniel Radcliffe in yesterday.
Did you?
Jungle. Have you seen that? The
I
film?
haven't, but I've seen the trailer.
It's an old film, this is nothing new, but from 2017, but it's based on it. I love a film based on a true story. They get me hooked.
It's the guy, wasn't it, the guy who got lost for 2 weeks or something? And
I won't spoil it, but yeah, Yossi Ginsberg or something.
Got
true
lost
story. In the jungle.
What I liked about it, he was spotted in a chemist's in Mency in Santa Cruz.
Daniel Radcliffe, you mean?
Daniel
Not
Radcliffe.
Yossi.
No. Daniel Radcliffe. And because obviously all the headlines of Harry Potter, people were going, he's buying magic potions.
He's buying potions.
But then the next photo was of him in Hyperdino.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, there was a little video of him just going through the checkout, living his life.
Shopping.
Yeah. I wonder if he's still here.
We still don't know why he's here, though, do we?
No, there's no official. I watched something with Daniel Radcliffe in yesterday. Yeah, on Sky Documentaries, there is a guy called David Holmes, who was his stunt double.
Oh, the story of this is amazing.
He was his stunt double in the Harry Potter films, and an accident on set left him paralysed from the chest down and down one arm. He's only got use of one arm. And it's an incredible story about what he's still doing, in all fairness, and he's amazingly positive, because it must be, terribly difficult. But his best friends have become his carers. So his mates have actually become his full-time carers, because they just found that he responded to them more than proper, than I don't want to say real carers, that's unfair. But it's an incredible story if you get a chance to watch it.
His relationship with Daniel Radcliffe got a lot stronger, despite the fact that
see each other all the time.
It's a really incredible story. And if you could understand what stunt performer goes through, the training, the physicality of all of it, and then for that suddenly to be taken away.
What stunt was it that caused that?
I think it was in the Deathly Hallows, so the last one.
I can't remember.
And it was a jerk harness, when you fly across the backwards.
Yeah.
And I think there's something wrong with the harness, and it fractured his vertebrae.
But they went to the gymnastics club where he trained, and Daniel Radcliffe. It was quite funny because the little kids obviously don't really know Harry Potter as much. So obviously they were just talking about gymnastics, and because Daniel Radcliffe went to the same gymnastics club. Yeah. So him and David had known each other before they were famous, for years, yeah? But then when you got to the sort of 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, and they said, "Have you got any questions?" And they went, "Yeah, can we have a photo with you, please?" It was like...
question,
Great. But
seemed like a nice guy.
Worth watching, Jem.
Okay, yeah. I love a good film or documentary recommendation or series. I would like to take this opportunity to say that I've finally listened, and I've watched the first season of Ted Lasso, and I'm sporting...
The first season or just the first episode?
First season.
You've watched it all? You stuck with it?
Why do you think the hair is like that, Chris?
Yeah,
this is exactly why.
Well, no, because Jen obviously messaged to say she'd watch the pilot.
First,
I said, stick with it, and you have.
So yeah, the first couple I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, and then but I took your advice and I stuck with it, and now I'm pleased that I did.
Are you into it?
Yeah, so they've just been relegated, so I'm sensing they'll get promoted.
Are you getting Keely vibes? What do you think when you look?
I can see why you think she's like me.
You can see the resemblance.
But it's not just the look, it's everything.
The personality.
Mannerisms, personality, everything.
I get it. I'll take it. I think she's pretty
And
cool.
the same initials.
Yeah.
Juno Temple and Jenny T. Dun dun dun.
Never see them in the same room.
And what is it? Jamie Tart. Another JT. Dun dun dun. It's written in the stars.
Maybe we are long lost sisters. So, how was your weekend, guys? You had a good one?
I did. Yeah, very nice. Bit of this, bit of that. Bit of DIY, bit of feng shui.
Feng shui.
Feng shui. Yeah. So I moved the lounge around really.
How very changing rooms of you.
It was.
I've done nothing. I've just been to the gym, been to the spa, chilled out.
That sounds nice though.
Yeah.
Bought some new clothes. That was it. Training gear.
Nice.
You know? Gym stuff, Jen.
It's nice
gym
getting
stuff.
new gym stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
You get excited to go to the gym.
But do you know what's nice about it? I'm having to buy smaller ones.
Oh, nice.
I know, that is good. That,
So, really cool. I'm enjoying that.
That for your sort of mental health is also really
Motivation,
good. When you
absolutely.
go, I'm not in that anymore. I'm in a size lower or 2 sizes lower, or whatever. It feels good. It feels good. You know it's working.
Yeah, I do like, and I'm in desperate need of new gym stuff. Mine at the minute is like ragged. It's like falling apart because obviously sweat. It gets washed like every day. Like it's disgusting. I've got a pair of shorts. Well, like
You should wash it after every use.
Do you?
well, I don't just have one set, but all my sets are getting so thin.
Are you a Febreze will do? Like give it a squirt with
Febreze wet wipe.
Yeah,
off we pop. Licking a promise.
No, I'm joking. Because don't forget, like particularly with my shorts and box shorts and whatever, I go in a spa after.
Okay.
I'm in the pool. So they get rinsed out and all the rest of it. But no,
Mine
of course I'm
are
washing
getting
them.
to the point.
Not an animal.
Exactly, yeah.
Mine
I
are
was just
getting washed
joking with
so
you,
much
Jen.
that they're so thin. You know, like you do a squat now, and I'm pretty sure people can see my ass.
Oh, really?
Probably.
What gym are you at?
Don't tell him.
So how often do you wash your bed sheets? Because that's apparently you're supposed
Mine's weekly.
Weekly?
Yeah.
I thought you're supposed to do them every fortnight.
I do mine weekly.
I probably do.
I've got
mine
enough spares,
fortnightly.
but also because I do my main wash on the Saturday because of time, then the bed sheets go in as well. So the towels will go in, the bed sheets will go in, and then all the clothes that have gone in the
Oh,
hamper.
I can't be asked with that.
You have too much time on your
Well,
hands.
listen, I put the
Once
the
a month
wash,
if you're lucky.
The wash cycle isn't overly long, an hour maybe, and then it goes on the balcony on the area. It's dry at this time of month. It's dry within an hour.
Yeah, but it's a right palaver
It's
getting
the
off
faff,
the
innit?
bed. It's the
Getting it
faff,
in,
thanks,
getting-
Jen.
it's the
That's
faff.
the word.
I'd
But
say
also,
I'm
do you not? You have to love this. Do you not love getting into bed in fresh sheets? Is it not the
Yeah.
best feeling in the world?
But would
Not really, never thought
you
about
smell the because I like a decent fabric softener. Not going to lie, I like a decent fabric, and I like the smell of getting into fresh sheets. That's why I do it once a week. I actually sleep better, I think.
I think you're right in regards. There's no better sleep than fresh bed sheets, fresh pajamas, clean hair, like makeup, like
Pyjamas?
like the whole shebang. It's a lovely
That
sleep.
bit I don't know. Pajamas, no. Makeup,
Like,
you
but
know,
no
only a
makeup,
weekend.
like all cleansed, like shaved, moisturised,
Shaved?
everything.
What are you, a baboon?
How many baboons do you see walking around with a shaver? I've not been to Laura Park for a while, but I'm pretty sure you don't see that.
But yes,
The
Jen, you're
baboon's
right.
like, don't look at me, I'm having a moment.
It's you talk it self-care, Jen. It is
But also, I think if you do that too much, it'll be saturated. Do you know what I mean? So if, I feel like fortnightly is enough.
Okay.
When
Do
it's
you
been
tend to-
hot,
but
maybe
do you
a
tend
bit
to
more
wash them
often.
more here because it's hotter
Yes.
and you sweat more than
Exactly.
you would in England?
Probably, yeah.
when you get
So
those,
you do yours once a month in England then?
I don't
do you know
really
what? I'm not going to lie. I
remember.
used to. It was a monthly thing,
I can't remember living
and now
in
it's
England.
weekly, and I like it I like doing it weekly.
When I
It
lived
makes
in
me
I,
feel-
England,
t- I,
I
tend,
lived
I tend
with
to leave
my
mine on
parents.
until it's worn out and then buy a new one. Is that not what you're supposed to do?
So-
Give it a year or so till it goes all bobbly and then chuck it away, buy a new one. Is that not right?
No, Chris.
No?
Any ladies in that bed lately, Chris?
No. Funnily enough, do you think
Funnily
it's?
enough.
I don't think it's related. They might, because I haven't actually had any come there to turn it down, so
Right.
it can't be related.
Yeah.
Can
Well,
it?
now
Nobody's
it's
gone in
out
the
there.
Now it's out there,
Nobody's
I'm
gone in there and
knackered,
said,
aren't I?
"I'm not
That's it.
getting in that." Look at the state of your
Yeah,
sheets.
absolutely.
The bobbly fuzzy
Nobody's
sheets.
got that far.
Although, don't you think bed sheets that are really old, like, and they're all soft and like, there's something quite special about them. Sometimes new bed sheets are too stiff.
Starched, yeah, crisp.
Starched.
There you go. All right, there you go. Anyway,
Well,
Thanks.
Tenerife Pod, this has taken a bit of a
Yeah,
turn,
hasn't
hasn't
it?
it?
There you go.
real
Let
life
us-
problems.
Let us know your thoughts.
Real life problems, eh? What do
I've
you
got
do?
a list of stuff here that we need to stick
Let's
to.
go on then.
guys.
Let's
go
I'm going
then.
to play a stinger.
Hey!
So, shall we come to you for what do you want to do first? Because you've got this a few things for you today. Weather, we've got
I don't
things
know, what are
related
you-
to the weather.
What are you feeling? Do you want to talk about the weather? Should we talk about the weather first?
Let's do the weather because, and then that can lead into some other stuff, can't it? So hit it.
The Canary Islands government ended the heat alert this morning. At the time of recording, that's Monday, the 10th of August. Several days
don't
of
feel
high.
like any
I
heat's
know
gone
it
anywhere,
doesn't.
though,
I
does
was
it?
having this
I
conversation.
think it feels cooler,
The-
especially
Oh,
over
gosh.
Costa Decky way.
Yeah,
Really?
yesterday afternoon there was quite a pleasant breeze. And it was coming through, and it just took the edge off. Whereas before, it had been really, when the air is
Intense,
still
yeah.
and quite thick, and it just feels. Ugh. So that's been quite nice. We have had those high temperatures following the recent heat wave. You can deny all you want, but there was a heat wave. So anybody that's saying there wasn't a heat wave is
Are people saying
incorrect.
there wasn't a heat wave?
There are people saying it's August.
Oh yeah,
It's summer.
But it was.
Even on our pod from last week where we were saying, look, this is why we're saying it. We understand it's August, and this is why. People were still commenting on that reel, and it was a short reel.
Yeah.
Just people were like, yeah, it's still August. Like, no, you've not watched.
Yeah,
you don't get it.
Yeah,
you're
you've missed-
completely
you've
missing
missed
the
the
point.
point.
Definitely hadn't watched it. You're right, Jen. Yeah.
Missed the point again. So the measure had applied to El Hierro, La Gomera, La Palma, as well as the southern parts of our own island. In Gran Canaria, the heat alert will be lifted for areas above 400 metres. So they are still having more extreme heats in Gran Canaria.
Below 400 metres, isn't it?
Above, it says here.
All right, beg your pardon.
The decision marks the end of the latest period of exceptionally high temperatures, which has affected several islands and prompted the additional precautions due to the increased risk posed by the heat. That was for the elderly and for young people and
The vulnerable,
the
yeah.
vulnerable for that. So the forest fire, however, is still in play. So the officials stressing the end of the heat alert does not mean the danger of forest fires has disappeared. The government is maintaining its pre-alert for forest fire risk as conditions in some areas remain favourable.
Just quickly,
for
I
that.
thought it was interesting what you're saying about the heat alert. I did an article, I think it was this morning, about there's a dermatologist who's been talking about the warnings of sun exposure and the fact that you don't need to be sunbathing, you don't need to be in direct sunlight,
No.
you don't need to be on a sunny day. I mean, we've said this before, you've got to be careful to catch the sun in clouds, but in actual fact, they're saying that sun cream should become part of your daily routine, yeah? Because the long-term effects just from walking around, driving around, just from being in the sun, obviously have a long-term effect on your skin and potential problems,
Yeah.
skin
Of course.
cancers and all the rest of it.
I mean,
so
we're talking-
even though we're talking about heat alerts and, we said before we've seen people who are really badly sunburnt, you've got to be careful all year round, haven't you?
Absolutely. When you look at the drumsticks, we call them. That's the people with the pink and white, the extreme pink and white. Drumsticks we're calling them. Because they look like the old drumstick lollies.
I love a drumstick lolly. but I see
so do
what
I.
you-
I wouldn't want to look like one, though. But also, it is a fair point because doing the touristy thing last weekend, we went on a boat trip on the Seaquest, which was really nice. Very cloudy. So there was a lot of cloud around. Did not stop me catching the sun. Still felt it on my head. Still came out a little bit pink. So it's absolutely right what you're saying about the risk of sun exposure, because we are talking radiation. At the end of the day, what comes out of the sun is radiation. Ultraviolet A, ultraviolet B. They're all types of radiation. So you are effectively being irradiated.
Do you put sun cream on every day? Is it part of your
Not
daily
every day,
routine?
no.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
can
must
hold my
admit,
hands and say,
I am
"Don't."
quite lackadaisical when it comes to it. But
Whoa, sorry.
What a word.
Wait a minute. You're quite what?
lackadaisical.
And you said that one right.
I know.
Lackadaisical.
Do you know what? When people say security,
Means you can't be asked, Jen.
it means lazy.
Yeah.
But you know when people say security was lax or this was lax, that's what they're shortening the word lackadaisical, which is a beautiful word. I do love it. So, but I am
Oh,
quite
imagine that to
lackadaisical.
the
I've never
vocab.
moisturised or anything.
No, I haven't.
Nothing ever.
Really? I wear an
bit of
SPF
aftershave balm after
moisturiser.
I've.
No.
But no, yeah, I don't.
Which,
necessarily
having
rate
lived here for 35 years,
Yeah.
is probably something I should take into account what I
You
just
should,
said.
yeah.
Should probably take head to my
Given-
own
I was gonna
advice,
say,
to be honest
given
with
what you just said
yeah,
about
yeah,
that,
yeah, exactly. So,
But also, what was really interesting on the BBC recently, because obviously the UK has been suffering from extreme temperatures as well. One of the health chiefs from the NHS and from NICE, which is the health body, was saying about the use of painkillers can actually increase your risk of sunburn. The ibuprofen, because of what it happens to the skin and the blood and things like that. So there's lots of warnings out at the moment. Plenty to read about if you are concerned.
Here's an
about
interesting
it.
stat for you. Remember we were talking about, you mentioned that 2,500 people had died
That's
in
right.
3 months from heat stroke in the UK.
Yeah.
'Cause you were surprised by that,
Yeah,
weren't you?
really surprised.
Did you know that every year in the UK, 60,000 people die from the cold?
Wow.
Whoa.
Every winter.
I did
In
not
regards-
realise it was that
Every
many.
winter, 60,000 people.
Is that like people that can't afford heating? Is it homeless? Like what?
Yeah,
all
that.
Is a mixture.
All of
All
that,
of the
basically.
above.
Yeah, all of the
Wow.
above. But 60,000 people die from
That's an incredible
effectively things
amount.
put down to extreme cold.
Wow. That's a lot, isn't
I
it?
used to
I was actually watching a podcast about climate change and about whether it's real, what's this, what's that, what's the other, and they were actually saying that yes, there is an issue, but actually the bigger issue is people dying from cold, not from heat.
Wow.
That's so sad.
So
Yeah.
it's
Just
quite
didn't realise
amazing,
the number
really.
was that high.
I
That's a
used
lot of
to
people, isn't
work in a hotel, and I guess maybe you've experienced this as well, Steve. This was a hotel in Cyprus, but there would be people to come out like January, February for 2 months.
Yeah.
It was cheaper to stay in an all-inclusive hotel, and it was 4 stars, pretty nice hotel for 2 months than it was to pay their heating bill
Yep.
in the UK.
100%.
Really?
They would come. They
Wow.
were retired. They would just come away.
Yep.
It's
And then
cheaper.
avoid-
Yeah, it's cheaper to
avoid getting ill.
It's cheaper to
Avoid
lock
all
the
that.
house up, go to Cyprus, or Mallorca was another popular one. Just go there and spend the 2 months. This is before Brexit, so they could spend as long as they like.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of staying, well, it's not speaking of staying safe. I tried to do one of those seamless links, but it's not about that at all. We have this week something very exciting up in the skies, Steve.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Great attempt at a segue there, Jen.
I know.
I appreciate you for trying.
I'm having a bit of a Monday, like a
Does
Monday
seem
morning.
to be.
mode
You actually beat me
today.
to it, Jen, because I was going to say, actually, Steve, the forest fire and heat alert has got an effect on Wednesday and Thursday at Teide, hasn't it?
Yes, it does.
Why
In
don't
fact,
you just
yes,
edit that in?
Yeah, can
Take my bit out.
can we have an edit on that? Yes, no, it has, because we are expecting, of course, a celestial event. Love that word as well. Two celestial events, yes.
I tell you, you and your words, you are not being lackadaisical about
What?
your vocabulary today. I'm
He's
impressed.
desperately trying to find the link on his
I know.
WhatsApp. So basically, Jen, in the Canarian Weekly, we wrote about the fact that Mt Teide is going to be shut to all private cars.
Yes.
This is for Traffic Steve to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah? Due to the Perseids meteor shower.
Indeed.
This is a word I've just learned as well. Another new word today, Perseeds.
That's what it's called,
yes,
yeah.
Okay, I've
the
never
Perseids,
heard
it's believe it or not, it's an annual event. So a lot of these meteor showers happen, years and years apart. This one is an annual event. The reason why, what happens? Dust and rock left behind by a comet,
Yep.
which is 109P, otherwise known as the Swift-Tuttle comet. It's broken up, and every year the Earth passes through what's effectively left over, which is dust and rock left behind this, creating bright streaks that we would call shooting stars or meteors.
Right, okay.
So you get to see these every year about this time. In between, sometimes it happens late July, but the actual peak that we're likely to see this is over the 12th and 13th of this month.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with the eclipse that's happening on the 12th.
it's
completely
just
separate.
that's a
Complete coincidence.
celestial coincidence, I think. Planets
Whereas
aligning
this
and
is
all that. But this is an annual event that happens, so it's
Astrological.
the best time to view is
Or
usually
astronomical.
between
Astronomical.
yeah.
Astrological, that's star signs.
What's your sign?
Sorry.
Taurus. The best time, usually midnight until dawn, best time to view these. And you usually get between 50 and 100 meteors, visible meteors, every hour. The other good thing we've got this year, the conditions and the way that the lunar cycle has worked, we have what's called a new moon, which means that the moon is very, very dull in comparison. So it's
Yeah.
not a full moon, it's a new moon, which means that the conditions are even better
Less
to
light
see those,
pollution.
less light
Right,
pollution
okay.
Yeah.
from the moon.
Because obviously the darker it is,
The better
the
it
more
is.
Noise.
visible.
Insane.
So this is why that the Canary Islands, Hawaii, Chile are the top three places in the
yeah.
world for telescopes and astronomy, and this is why the new TNT 30-meter telescope, they're pitching for it to be in La Palma,
Right.
because it's either going to be here in the Canary Islands or Hawaii, and the Canary Islands are that important in astronomical terms.
And of
So-
course, as you're probably aware, if you've ever been stargazing at Teide, there is a no-fly zone above the,
Well, you went
the
recently,
mountain.
didn't you?
I did. I went last week. And
Who'd
again,
you go with?
we went with Night Skies.
Oh, Kieran.
Kieran, yeah.
Good lad.
We had
I
a
love
really
Kieran.
nice time. We would go on a 52-seater and we would go on the usual tour. This time round, friends were coming. He came with his brother, who's really interested in that sort of thing. So we went with a 6-seater, a VIP personalised tour. 4 of us, Kieran and a lad called Connor, who was the other astrologer. We were taken for an
And their telescopes are amazing, aren't they? They're huge.
Just brilliant. And also all computer controlled. So he's like, right, we're going to do this. And then you...
And it automatically will lock onto Saturn or lock onto different stuff, and it's quite amazing.
And the laser pointer was just amazing. Yeah. So he's like, so I'm going to show you this, and you see the laser pointer go all the way into the sky. It's just really nice. There was a fair bit of Kalima, so we didn't see as much as we wanted to see on a clear night, but we did see a binary star system, so it was 2 stars very close to each other. Loads of it's so cool, and I can understand why there is just going to be the best.
If anyone's watching or listening and they've never been on Teide by night or Teide Skies, go.
Absolutely.
Because, it's interesting, isn't it? We always talk about the fact that the Canaries, or Tenerife, I'm going to say specifically, has exclusive things for holidaymakers. Mm-hmm. And the 3 things are the whales and dolphins, because of the protected area, obviously off the Kostradecki coast. Mt Teide, particularly at night time, and SIAM Park, the #1 water park in the world. But seriously, for something completely different, going stargazing at night time over here is, I'm not going to say it's a life-changing experience, but it's definitely a once in a lifetime memories.
And only because, as you rightly said, Chris, there's only 3 places in the world you can do it, and we're one of them.
Yeah.
So if you can't get to Hawaii, let's face it, Hawaii is a bit out of a lot of people's price range for a holiday.
And Chile, nobody really goes there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this experience is as good as you're going to get anywhere in the world.
I would say as well, because I've done it with the 52-seat bus, but it's still magical. And
absolutely,
for me, watching the sunset from above the clouds is just an insane
experience. I think that's the other thing that's so magical about the whole thing, is that you're travelling up to, you get past 2001 villa floor, 2,100 metres, you're above the cloud base, and then you just watch that sun dip, and then all of a sudden, someone's got a glass of cava for you. I mean, come on, it's like... Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it gets freezing cold.
It does get...
And that's the one thing. Let's talk about the Perseids for a second.
Yes.
Because I've been up to it twice.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So can I just ask something? So you said that going up to Teide would be a great place, but we can't get there because they've banned cars.
Right.
I was just going to comment on that.
Just going to comment on
that. I've been on it twice when you could drive up there.
Okay.
And it's chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, it is chaos. They reckon about 2,000 cars go up there. Now, that's also not including all the public transport buses, emergency vehicles, coaches that are licensed to go, etc., etc., etc. And the problem is, Jen, that obviously there's not parking for 2,000 cars. No. So you end up with cars on the verges, parking on, and the place is getting destroyed. So we're well aware that the Cabildo want to start controlling numbers, visitor numbers going up in general, a bit like in Masca, in Anaga, and also we spoke about it at length about Lanzarote and what they do there. And they will introduce a park and ride system eventually. But this is one of the first things that they do limit it for, all right? And, I know there's a lot of people who, because, yes, emergency vehicles are allowed, but only buses with more than 9 seats.
Right.
All right? So that takes out privately owned minibuses, because there's a lot of minibuses that are 9 seats that people privately own or smaller operators use, and that's not allowed. And I know they're not happy about that, because obviously they are licensed for trips, but they're not allowed to go up. So it's the bigger vehicles. So if you want to go, you need to book with someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Or Titsa are putting on extra buses. The last one coming back is at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
But what you have to remember is the park is closed from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. to vehicles. And the eclipse is due, I think it's at 7:30-ish.
7:57, I think.
7:57 is 8 o'clock, yeah. Obviously before sunset, obviously. Otherwise it wouldn't work very well. But then, as you said, yes, that'll last for a while. But then you probably won't see any meteors till after midnight.
Yeah.
Or any shooting stars till after midnight. It's a long night. It's a long night if you're on a coach and you can't leave whenever you want to. Yeah. But there are other areas that you can go to, not in the park. Well, I mean, as long as you're somewhere dark, you'll be able to see it from, literally one of the camping areas,
and one of the things
areas.
that the expert have said, and will always say about Perseid, is that you don't need a telescope to see them. They are bright
absolutely.
enough.
Steve, listen, when I lived in El Fronton, which obviously is in just above San Miguel village, only a small place, not much light pollution, dark place. You could literally lie on a sunbed and just watch them, one after the other, and it's fantastic. But literally there are 4 main roads going up to Teide. All 4 have got police checkpoints. No, you won't be able to enter in a private car. Yes, people who are staying at the Parador are allowed to stay, as are obviously work vehicles, etc. But they are stopping it for those reasons. One of the other reasons is because the forest fire warning is still active.
In effect, yep,
and
absolutely.
obviously, if there was an outbreak of fire and emergency vehicles can't get through the traffic.
Yeah. It's for all of our safety,
So the buses are operating between 7:30 and 2:30 from Titsa. Services from La Orotava will travel via the TF21. Those from La Esperanza will travel on the TF24, and Villaflor will also access it via the TF21. If you're looking to use these special services, check the latest Titsa timetable and arrangements before travel.
What are you guys? Are you guys going to go watch it, or?
I'm probably not going to go up and watch it.
You're going to watch it from anywhere, just balcony it?
Yeah, I might just balcony it and see.
Yeah.
It's midnight though, and I'll be... I'm an old man. I'm going to watch, don't get me wrong, I've got my glasses for the eclipse. I'm watching that for sure. Yeah. I looked last night as the sun was going down, and it was about 8 o'clock. And the view I've got, just over La Gomera, it's just going to dip to the right La Gomera, just perfect.
I've got my binoculars ready.
Have you?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea, Chris.
I was going to say.
As he comes in with a white stick.
I've got my yellow glasses. I'm ready.
Okay.
They're ready to go.
A couple of burnt retinas coming up.
Yeah, don't take my advice. It was a joke.
Yes. Okay, there's been some interesting things happening on the island. Let's get into some stuff. One thing I wanted to mention, you did a story on the Canarian Weekly, Chris, about...
Did I?
You did.
Okay.
About a new shop.
Oh, yes.
Tenerife.
Is this the mystery boxes?
Yeah.
Oh, I did see this.
I've not been to one of these shops, but so you wrote about one in San Cristobal La Laguna.
Yeah.
So basically the idea of these shops is you pay €1, between €1 and €20.
It's a department within the shop.
Right.
It's not the whole shop.
Oh, okay.
They're big Chinese shops. It's a department within the shop, all right?
And you get a mystery parcel, so you don't know what's going to be in it. It's just quite exciting. This is obviously a bit of a TikTok phenomenon. People are going viral for just unboxing and opening and seeing. So I think this is where this is kind of...
Knowing my luck, I'd buy a box for €1 or €2 and it'd be lingerie or something. And I'd be like...
You'd love it.
Yeah. What's unlucky
sure
about
it'd suit
that?
You. Probably wouldn't fit. But knowing my luck, I'd get something crap.
Well, that's
but
I
suppose that's the chance
it's a
you
euro,
take,
isn't it?
Yeah,
like that's the concept.
Well, no, they're
€1
to €20.
Well, you pay.
They're €1 to €20. Yeah.
And you don't know whether you're going to get something useful or something useless and ridiculous.
So you're allowed to go in and I'm going to
shake it. Well,
give
the thing is, Steve, all the boxes are divided into sizes and weights and prices.
Okay.
And they're from Amazon.
Yeah.
Not Amazon. Shein, Temu,
I think
AliExpress, and Amazon.
Yeah,
they're either surplus stock, returns, undelivered orders.
Is there any?
So there could be electricals in there. There could be anything.
But is there any?
There's no guide at all to what they are.
But are they guaranteeing that what you'll buy is significantly more in value than what you pay, or is there just that's the chance you take?
Well, let's be honest. I mean, I can't see that you buy a mystery box and it's going to be worth less than €1.
Or less than 20.
Yeah, but if you're buying a €20 one, it's going to be hefty.
So some things that have been bought are things like hair straighteners, electrical appliances.
That'd be good for
you. Do you know, I knew you were going to say that.
Technology accessories. Oh, you love a bit of technology.
I do love a bit of tech, actually.
You do.
Clothing, car accessories, branded products.
And Shein as well, from Shein as well.
Shein, Temu, AliExpress, all on Amazon.
So is this shop paying the €3 for each thingy that they've got to do now?
They're
already here.
Oh, okay.
They're either not delivered or returned.
Oh, I see.
So they stay boxed. They don't know what's in them.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of does make it more exciting then, doesn't it?
But apparently, Jen, I didn't know, people started commenting on the post saying there's a place in San Isidro
So
doing a similar thing.
I think it's exactly the same, like another big... I believe it is.
That's a bit closer.
Also, people...
Should we go up as the pod and
we
video
should
ourselves?
I think we should.
We should do an unboxing.
A pod lucky dip.
I think we should. I think it's quite exciting. What some people have said, and it is quite interesting, and I know you order a lot from these places. I've ordered a few times, and I know, Chris, you have in the past as well. Have you ever had issues with parcels not being delivered?
100%.
Because I'll be honest...
No.
Really? Okay, so
I've had delays. I've never had anything not arrive, I must admit, but it has been stuck in customs in Madrid or just been batted to and fro from the Correos. Sometimes I get a notification on my phone that the Correos have tried to deliver here at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, are you sure, postman, that you're working at 10 o'clock at night? I don't think you are.
But don't forget, they're not postmen. It's like Uber. They're independent people.
This is kind of my point. They're not... Some of them don't have the best reputation, do they? Like,
what, for delivery?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like sometimes... Literally today, I'm waiting for something. It's my daughter's birthday at the end of this month. I've ordered a couple of bits to come to the studio. I hope you don't mind, Chris. Anyway... So this morning, while I was on air...
I'll lucky dip it.
You're lucky dip it. I'll open it for you.
The bell goes, the buzzer on the door goes, and I can hear next door their buzzer goes as well. So both of us let this person in, and we can hear them saying that they are like delivery. So nobody comes up. So me and the woman next door, we both go down, thinking, oh, maybe they just can't be bothered with the stairs because there's quite a few. There's nobody there. So sometimes I just feel like they come and like the attempted delivery.
Oh, that winds me up, doesn't it?
Or they bring the card and be like, you've got a delivery, you have to pick it. But I'm here, can you just give it me? No, I didn't bring it. Yeah. Like, why? So it makes me wonder, are some of these deliveries just ones that couldn't be bothered to be actually
I think
delivered?
you could be right in that shop is that they're sorry we missed you cards when the person's been in all day.
Commission,
well, you never know. You never know. But that does one of the things that infuriates me. And that doesn't happen to me as much as it used to. It used to happen to me in the UK quite a lot with a company called DPD and then another company called Yodel who had a really, really crap reputation for lobbing parcels over your back fence. So you'd find it in the middle of the garden smashed to smithereens. Cause
never heard of them.
They were taken over. Yodel,
how did they let you know they were there?
Yodel. I knew you all wanted me to do that as soon as the Yodel came out.
My friend Michelle, who I lived with in uni, she ordered a coat once and it never arrived. She kicked off. Eventually, this company sent out another coat, and it was when we were moving out of this like student house that we had to go around and check everything. And we had this like weird alleyway that we never went in, but there was a fence, but it was all overgrown. We thought we'd just check everything's all right, we're not left anything, and there was her coat. It'd been there for months.
I had one with Facebook. Do you remember the Oculus?
Oh yes, yeah.
When they first came out.
I don't know what that is.
The Oculus are like the virtual reality glasses,
okay.
yeah. I think you could buy them for £100 or something. There was an offer, so I ordered them, and they genuinely didn't turn up, and I contacted them, so they sent another one out, and on the same day, both turned up. Result.
Oh
my God.
So there was the kid's birthday sorted.
Yes,
Gosh.
absolutely. And actually, Amazon's customer service a lot of the time, if the goods aren't overly expensive, have a no quibble. We'll just give you a refund. And then usually your parcel turns up a couple
Well,
of
I think we should go.
later.
I think we should go, Jen.
I agree.
Sounds good to me.
I'm up for that. And
I'm
then
excited.
we can unbox it here or whatever. Yeah, that's quite exciting. So, yeah, San Isidro and La Laguna that we know of. If you know any more, leave us a comment.
Let us know.
Let us know. Right, let's get on to some of the stuff that I know that you wanted to talk about. Bars and restaurants have been warned.
Yeah, just a brief thing, really. Two stories just to give a brief thing of,
Go on.
and not to go into too much detail. But there was an article we did about the fact that bars and restaurants with giving away shots and free drinks and staff drinks and all this sort of thing.
Staff drinks.
Well, right. Basically, there is a new system coming in called Verifacteur for businesses. So for years, businesses haven't really had to have, or bars and restaurants haven't had to have strict stock control. Because it's all free pour, isn't it? It's not measured like in the UK. And basically, they're now bringing in a new system where everything is accountable. We're already on this system as a company. So basically, any invoices we now raise, you can't edit them afterwards. Once you click finished, it closes it and it sends it. So the government will receive every invoice you raise, everything you put through the till, and literally everything has to go through the till, because they're then going to look at what your invoices are against the stock you've been buying, against what you've been selling, and so on and so on and so forth.
I have so many questions.
So the accountability from that front. Now, the reason why it was used as bars and restaurants with free shots and drinks and all the rest of it is because, let's be honest, we know that there's an element of staff drinks in a lot of bars, particularly downtown and all the rest of it. And obviously, it's a very traditional thing at the end of a meal to get a chupito. Yeah? And also, if we just put about the fact that, you know, self-employed and businesses are now going to have to account for everything, nobody would have read it.
Yeah.
So it was a case of like, look, we want people to know. So basically, from the 1st of January, this is going to be law for the tax office for companies and self-employed businesses that employ people, pay corporate tax, and for all other self-employed, so whether you're a singer on the circuit or a self-employed printer or whatever, from the 1st of July. So it is going to have an effect on how businesses, for example, pay acts. You know, the acts are going to have to supply invoices. And if you are somebody over here who's been able to work without fully declaring, shall we say, everything you earn, and you maintain a certain lifestyle, and if all of a sudden you start declaring this much and are maintaining the same lifestyle, there's going to be questions asked about how you managed to do it for the last 10 years. So people are going to have to be really careful on how they bring themselves up to date. I know what you're going to ask, Steve, about stock. If it's all free pour, how can you account for
there
it?
is that,
and portion control, waste,
indeed,
wastage,
ullage, all of those things happen. You know, people, I know first hand, pour a pint, drop it. That's a whole pint gone.
It's got to be registered.
So you're going to need to have businesses with wastage sheets and things like that.
Yep.
Also,
staff drink sheets, any drink.
It's interesting when you talk about the tax man, but surely if you're giving, let's say, chupitos, you're giving shots away at the end of the bar, nobody's paying for those. The tax man's not going to get the money anyway.
No, because it's to do with, obviously, all the income, because up to recently, let's be honest, not all bars and restaurants and businesses are declaring their income.
Right. Oh, I see. Yeah.
All right. Now, obviously, you know, we know that probably since COVID more have, because more and more people have now got the digital till systems that you can log into for all your staff hours, etc., etc., etc. So it's probably more professional, more declared, more accounted.
I was going to say there are more checks and inspections being done, particularly by work inspects, to ensure that contracts are correct as well. So they are getting the hang of it.
Absolutely,
let's say.
And I saw something online about somebody moaning about this. I'm not going to say who it was, but it was one of the entertainers saying, you know, I can't believe it. After I've paid, you know, I'm going to have to go proper social rather than one of the agencies, and I'm going to have to declare this and pay retention and do this and do that and do the other. And I was thinking, well, not being funny, I've had to do that for the last 30 years. So, you know, it's like, well, a lot of people have had it very fortunate for a long time. You know, there isn't as much black money around as there used to be. We all know that. Yeah. There's hardly any cash around anymore, to be honest, in comparison to what there used to be. And
but
you know, are they trying to make it more difficult?
Well, I think
they're trying to make it more accountable.
Yeah, and they're closing loopholes that because there's two words to this, isn't there? There's tax evasion and there's tax avoidance. Now, tax avoidance uses the current system against itself. Tax evasion is I am completely doing this illegally. So there's those two schools of thought there. So this is tightening up loopholes, preventing tax. You know.
So for people coming on holiday, it doesn't mean they won't be able to have their rum meal shots at the end of the meal. It just means that the restaurant or the bar or the cafe, whatever, has to actually account for them. Rather than before, it was like, come over, whack the bottle on the table, leave it to yourself, which is great. I love it. But
also now it means that it's another job to do for the staff or the manager on duty or whatever to fill in this information, this wasted sheet or this free drinks sheet, which previously they wouldn't have had to do.
Which if people have worked in the UK in hospitality,
100%.
They will have done
100%.
Second nature.
Because that's why this whole argument came up about, well, we don't have... The Weights and Measures Act came in the UK in
whatever it was,
1950 something. And it's always been 25 mil, or it's now 25 mil, 50 mils,
double,
and that sort of thing. Whereas we don't have those. It might mean that certain bars will start to use
Although places are doing it.
I have seen, they call them jiggers.
Particularly for cocktails and things, the little silver measures of the different sizes.
I know them, yeah.
Places are using them. You know, not everyone is free pour. And let's be honest, not everybody wants a Bacardi and Coke
that'll strip the paint.
I'm one of them, and I get told off all the time. Like, I end up having
it too strong.
It's not pleasant. Like, I'm not a big drinker, but I genuinely don't enjoy it when it just tastes like pure alcohol. I always end up having to ask for a separate glass because I'll get 2 out of that.
Yeah, exactly. But that means you've only bought 1 drink. Whereas if it was not as strong, you'd probably buy 2 or 3 drinks.
Yeah, probably,
so actually, the bars potentially shoot themselves in the foot by doing that.
Yeah.
However,
but that's what I mean. Every time I order one, people would be like, "No, don't tell them it's too strong. Just go and get it. Don't ask for it weaker. They'll make all of ours weaker." And I'm like, okay.
What I do love, and one of my favourite places in Costa Rica, in Fanny Bay, Luma.
Yeah.
Well, in one of those places, in order for them, because a lot of people, tourists, for example, a lot of the time claim that they're given rubbish alcohol or local alcohol or whatever it is. And Luma's one of those places that absolutely comes to you with the bottle on the tray. So if you order a gin and tonic, for example, he's going to bring you a big gin bowl, one of those goldfish bowl type things, with the gin, and he'll stand there and
at the table,
so you can see what he's pouring.
But also you can tell him how much you want.
You can then tell him to stop, which when we're with my mate Neil, who doesn't drink a lot, we don't. We say, keep going, keep going. He's got about
you do a gin.
You've got about that much.
You want a gen's friends encourage him.
He has 2 drinks and he's absolutely shit-faced. So,
But so that's what it's for. But it doesn't mean that they'll have to stop it.
Yeah.
It just means they've got to account for it.
You could still go downtown and be lured in with a fish bowl and
of course you can.
Shots
But at the same
each.
time, I think what's more interesting for people that live here as opposed to people who holiday here is going to be, or more complicated, should we say, is when it comes in for the self-employed in the 1st of July.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who are going to have to really closely look at what they've been doing and what they do, and are going to have to somehow bring themselves up to date over quite a short period of time to, make sure they don't end up with... I remember it's funny, Steve, that you said about inspections, about work inspections, this, that and the other. One of the last things as a business or as a self-employed person you want is a tax inspection.
Absolutely.
Because if they think for some reason your accounts aren't right, and that's whether you're a company or whatever, it's a nightmare, absolute nightmare, and you always know there's some sort of fine coming at the end of it, because they don't investigate you for no reason. Yeah. But if your company has an investigation, or when you say company, you as a company, if you're self-employed, so get yourself sorted, get your Verifactor system in place. There are actually grants to help people do this. Yeah. There's €3,000 grants which you don't have to pay back. To actually set this up and do it properly and all the rest of it. And I know people who've had them and have switched over. We use an invoicing system called Holded, because there's about 7 different systems which are recognised by the Agencia Tributaria.
Yeah. And because this was delayed, wasn't it? They had planned to do this year. And then because of the time it was taken to change over and get all of these systems in place, they deferred it until the 1st of January.
But these are now definite dates.
These are the dates, because you've essentially had a year.
Yes, a year's grace,
So you've got to get it sorted. Whether you like it or not, you've got to play the game now.
But the thing is, people are turning around and saying, it's getting so expensive to live here. It's expensive to live everywhere.
Yeah.
The whole world has become expensive now, and unfortunately, we're in a digital world.
Yeah.
So, they can track everything you do anyway. So there's no point trying to fight it. It's like the driving licences. I'm not going to change mine over. It won't happen to me. Yeah, really? You have to take your driving test. I'm not going to get my TI. I won't need it. Really? Okay. And this is another one. If you're a business here, you have got to do it. Full stop.
Yeah, I feel like they just make it so hard for. Like, I'm not self-employed and I'm not a business owner, but I just feel like they make it so hard, and a lot of people.
It's a nightmare.
It is. Do you know what? And I think it's. You are right. There are so many hoops to jump through, and I know this firsthand from speaking to bar owners that I know as friends. And it's not even central government sometimes, it's local government as well, who come in and do these inspections, and they want everything. They want to see your opening licence. They want to make sure, even silly stuff, fire extinguishers, 3-phase electric, all of those things all have to be, if you're a restaurant, your canopy, your extract system has to be within the law. And the town hall can do that. Then a work inspector will come in, and then the police. There must be about 8 different agencies who could come and inspect.
I'll put it a different way for you, Jen, because at the end of July is when we pay our annual tax.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in June, I sat down with our accountants to go through everything. And if I look at last year, because obviously looking at 2025 compared to 10 years ago, it is now 40% more expensive on costs to run the same business.
Yeah.
So 40% more, which I know people obviously are moaning about the cost of living going up, but as business owners, you are looking at huge increases.
Yeah.
And this is something that is going to cause an issue.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, a lot of the time, these people that are maybe just self-employed, it's not like it's a really difficult world to understand, especially if you don't speak the language, and so they're relying on like head stores or accountants and stuff, and a lot of the time they can mess up and end up you be in charge of a fine, or like because something got missed, or
but at the same time, if you do have that situation, you can legally go against them because they are there acting on your behalf as a legal representative. So you can, whether or not you get anywhere,
but there is recourse you can have.
The other thing Jen wanted to talk about was communities. Oh, excuse me, that was the fan, not me.
We believe you.
I had to change the air conditioning, I've got to tell you. It was on heat.
You know what?
It was getting a bit warm, wasn't it?
That was why I looked over at our fancy clock that's also got the temperature on it. 31 Celsius in this room.
I was getting a bit warm.
So did I.
It was on heat.
I know.
You're not allowed.
But at least you know. But at least you know for the winter.
You're not allowed these buttons anymore.
All right. So there you go.
I've taken the buttons off you.
Communities. So interestingly, and I won't go on about this for a long time, but in April last year, there was obviously this thing about the fact that communities can vote to prevent. This is communities of residential complexes can vote to stop new holiday lets, VV licences on the complexes, and it's now been published in the BOE, which is the official gazette of Spain. For the whole country, which includes here in the Canary Islands. And this goes back to or relates to an incident in Murcia, where somebody bought an apartment on a complex and applied for it's known as a unique rental registration number. So this is the number you need that they've implemented so that you can advertise on Booking.com, Airbnb, any of these online platforms.
Is this the VV license?
No, this is a registration number.
Okay.
Because a VV license is here in the Canaries. In Spain, it's a different name, But this is actually the registration number you need for the register of the property registry, so that you can do it. So when obviously we've seen that Airbnb have had to remove loads of listings and they've been fined, same as Booking.com, it's this number that you need. And they got refused because in the statutes of the complex, it explicitly said that homes could only be used for private residences and couldn't be rented out for commercial gain. Specifically, it says that they can't be their use as guest houses or similar tourist accommodation is banned. That's literal translation in Spanish as guest houses. And so it's an interesting one because obviously people automatically think that means there's now a national ban on this happening, but there isn't, because the statutes of your community must say this. All right, and where people are getting a little bit not misled, but confused, and I think this is an interesting one, Steve, is this is governed by the horizontal property law in Spain, all right, which the horizontal property law is how much, it doesn't matter, how much space it occupies and all this sort of thing, which governs what usage you can have for your property, all right? So if it doesn't state that, then you have to go to the 3/5 vote to prevent it. So that means you need 60% of the owners to vote against the holiday lets. But the 60% of the property owners must also represent at least 60% of the building's ownership shares. So, for example, well, you could have somebody who owns 20 properties.
Right, okay.
Who's against it.
I'm with you.
So you could end up with 60% of the owners who only own 40% of the apartments saying no, but 40% of the owners going, yes, we allow it, but they own 60% of the properties. So you can't stop it.
Yeah.
So it's a really
so it has to be
confusing
a mixed representation. It can't just be
60%. It has to be 60% of the representation of the owner of the properties on the.
And when you're talking complexes with maybe 200 apartments on there,
absolutely,
you need those people to turn up and vote.
And there are owners who've got 10, 15, 20 apartments on residential complexes because they were renting them out for residents.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's crazy, but I mean, obviously, you need to take proper legal advice. But the good news is that if it's the wording is correct in your registered statutes of your community, then yes, you can stop it. And as we know, the new rule now is that obviously you can't sell one with a VV license; it gets revoked and all the rest of it. For me, if you're not allowed to live as a resident on a holiday complex, why are you allowed to have holidaymakers on a residential complex?
And my thoughts have always been the same,
is
if it's a residential property, it's for residents, the people who actually live there, rent or own that property. The amount of problems it causes, I mean, we haven't got many in the complex I live in, but there's a few that were granted years and years back. And you do have problems with noise. You do have problems with using the pool and doing things. You know, they have introduced new rules because some of.
But to be honest, I think it's crap for the people renting them as well, because they're not on a holiday complex.
No, exactly.
There's no reception. There's no lifeguard. There's no shop. There's no bar. There's no nothing. And very often, let's be honest, most of the residential complexes are further up the hill or out of town, so it's a bit crazy. But for me, it's just simple. If it says the clue's in the name,
residential.
I think there's a lot of maybe just from me, but confusion, because where I live, there is a lot that's just completely mixed, like residents and holiday. I wouldn't know if it was.
What do you mean on the complex?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a residential complex or a holiday complex.
Well, yours isn't a complex, really, is it?
Not where I live, but like in the area I am, there's loads of different complexes, and I wouldn't know.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like I wouldn't know if it's a residential.
Like Pinehurst, for example, is it residential?
I don't know because
does it? Well, there are certain criteria it has to have. Has it got a reception? A 24? Has it got a proper reception? Okay. In that case, it's not a holiday complex. I mean, they brought in all these rules because 2015 was when they allowed holiday lets on residential complexes in areas that were tourist saturated.
Yes.
Designated tourist areas. All right. So individual villas and country properties, rural properties, you've always had that. But obviously on residential complexes. So you had to have balconies of a certain height. You had to have stickers on the doors of patio doors to stop.
Yeah.
You had to have fire blankets and all these sort of things, all this criteria. But also one of them was a lifeguard by the pool. Residential complexes obviously can have the gated off and have the key.
Okay.
But to be a holiday complex, you have to have a lifeguard. And also you have to have a reception for proper check-in. Whereas residential, you don't.
That have the reception, but it's it's manned sometimes, and a lot of the time it's not.
So in that case, it's not holiday.
Not holiday, Because don't forget, when you check into a hotel, hostel, or any other accommodation that's a tourist accommodation, you give your passport over. They take a copy of that passport and give your information to the Guardia Civil. You can't do that in a residential property. So it shouldn't be, for safety reasons and for that governmental information, that can't be a holiday complex, because they can't do that. They can't.
So now what they're saying is, and if you've lived there before, I think it's 2017, you're allowed to live on a holiday complex.
Right.
Yeah, but if you can't now, or you haven't been able to since 2017, buy an apartment on a holiday complex and legally live in it as a resident.
Wow.
But
if you were already there pre-17, you could.
But you could buy a residential complex, apartment on a residential complex, and rent it out holiday let. Doesn't make sense.
Does it?
And also, let's be honest, if you were, the residential properties were generally cheaper than ones on holiday complexes. But anyway, just wanted to highlight the fact that there is now something in place if your statutes are correct, and it has been a case in the BOE. So those people who, we get contacted all the time by different people from communities saying, can you tell us, can you help, we want to stop this.
Because also the other thing it does is it sort of drives the prices up in those complexes.
But it also drives the residents out.
Yeah.
Some of the people are saying, we've lived here for 20 years and, there used to be a load of us used to live here, have a great time. Now there's only 3 of us left. Yeah. Because the properties have been bought up by investment companies to rent out. Yeah. So it's a shame. Yeah, and again, it's not only a problem here. This is for the whole of Spain. Yeah. And this is happening across the whole of Spain in every resort. So there you go.
Okay, well, thank you. Right, let's get on to something that's just for Tenerife.
Oh, yeah.
Tenerife Entertainment Awards.
Woo, TEs.
Less than 100 days now, Steve.
Is it? About to say, just over 3 months. Yeah.
Oh, Christmas is nearly here.
The teas are coming. And we have been discussing different categories on our weekly pods. So, Chris, what's the category today?
Let's go.
I thought today we would look at Spirit of the Teas.
Okay.
Mine's a vodka.
Because we haven't actually got that many. Is it free, Paul?
Yeah.
We haven't actually got many left. Because we did all the group which became vocal group and all the rest of it. So we haven't got many left. But I thought we'd look at the Spirit of the Teas, which actually started off as outstanding contribution.
Okay.
It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, and the idea was with the outstanding contribution was that it was for people on the entertainment circuit who had outstandingly contributed or been there a long time or for whatever reason. Yeah. So we first introduced it in 2007, which was the second tease at Exit Palace. And I will never forget it because it was the first one we did. And it was Billy McCracken who won it. And obviously, even at that time, Billy had been here for 100 years. And, was probably the most well-known Irish entertainer as far as all the musicians were concerned. The number one musician, this is 20 years ago almost, number one musician on the island. And the best bit was that from where I was, I could see him and he had no idea.
Oh, really?
And he was kind of talking to someone. And as Nathan was reading it out, you could see him kind of go...
So was it like this person has done this?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay. So the slow realisation,
yes.
Hang on, they're talking about me.
Yes. Which you've had when you've done it, Jen, haven't you?
Yeah.
When you've done the Spirit, you've had the same thing.
Love it.
But it was a really popular one and a really good one to get it off the ground. Because, let's be honest, when we started this, there was Tenerife legends who'd been here for 20 years previously. We're talking about the last 20 years, but obviously the circuit didn't start when we started this. It started
We've been around for
early 80s. In 2008, the second winner of this was Crystal Starr, who, if you remember, actually got inducted into the Hall of Fame last year after sadly passing away. So David was, as we've well documented, at Wigan Pier for donkey's years and was at Wigan Pier when obviously this took place,
right?
And was, probably the original shock drag artist on the island, and was a well-deserved and popular winner. In 2010, because we didn't do one 2009, 2010 was a soul singer who left recently, actually, only just recently left the island, by the name of Cy Benson.
Oh, yes.
Now, before the Tenerife Entertainment Awards, there was the David Alexander Awards for a short period of time, and he won a couple of male singers on that, and was, before, sort of in the times of people you will have never heard of, like Phil Gibson and Ronnie Canada and all these sort of, proper soul and Motown singers. Cy was up there. It was him and his brother actually used to perform together as well. They're from Wales.
Oh, lovely.
The home of soul.
Yeah.
And Tom Jones. But Cy, again, another very popular singer. In 2011 was a fan favourite was Mike Carlton.
Yes.
Believe it or not, 15 years ago got an outstanding contribution. And this was when he was at St Eugene's, and it was because he was leaving the island.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
So he'd obviously already been here 20 years and was leaving the island to go back to the UK And, so he'd already won Compare before. And it was after this he came back for the 2016 and won Compare then. And more recently. But that was him. 2012 was also a regular. But with his brother was Aaron and Leon Cormack.
Ah, yes.
Now, I don't think you've interviewed Leon that much, but you have, haven't you, Jen?
I've done a couple of after awards. So my first ever...
But the pre-ones.
Not the pre-ones. I don't think
So
I've ever
Jen,
interviewed him,
you've interviewed Leon quite a lot, haven't you?
A lot, yeah. I feel like it's kind of our kind of joke. It's like a yearly thing as it comes
like him
up to
with
the team.
folklore.
Yeah, a bit like that. But we also interviewed him on Tenerife Entertainment Uncovered pod and learned so much that I didn't know about his sort of, he was like an icon in the 90s.
Well, the two of them, the
Yeah.
two brothers, they were first brother to brother, and the equivalent of the Radio 1 Roadshow, they used to be on it in Spain, and they literally used to get mobbed by girls, photos, autographs. Not here in the south, but up in Santa Cruz and the mainland.
He said
which
they-
he
they-
spoke
they'd
about.
go
I
to
seem to
events.
remember the story. They were a big deal.
Absolutely.
They'd go to events where like there'd be like little Spice Girls poster, but massive like.
Yeah.
in
And he was talking about some of the acts they worked with, didn't he, as
Yeah,
well?
it
Some of
was
the really famous ones.
really
But also,
cool.
round about this time, they were, I mean, I know Aaron was soon leaving as well, but I think when you looked at what they'd done together with Brother to Brother, the tours, the albums, songs on movies, they had one of their songs in Shrek.
Wow.
And Leon just recently posted that a lot of the Scott and Leon stuff has just been re-signed.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. Then 2012 was another popular, Aaron and Leon Cormack. 2013, now you two won't even know who this guy is. And years ago, for some reason, we used to have quite a few comedians and comedians. It was great. There aren't that many comedians anymore, are there? Apart from Billy Porter, we've said this before, there aren't actually any comedians. Buddy Graham was amazing. Now, everyone used to call him Freddie Starr.
Right.
Because he'd wear the sort of red teddy boy suit, and he looked a bit like him. But it would be unfair to say he didn't do a Freddie Starr tribute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the idea. But he did have a style similar to Freddie Starr, and he would use some of his jokes. But he was hilariously funny, and was on the circuit over here for donkey's years. And is still going strong in England, I'm pleased to say.
Cool.
But he got recognised. 2014 was a very emotional one. This was your first year.
Yeah.
And if you remember, it was the legacy of the Leonard family.
Yeah.
All right? Now, I didn't know this when I was putting this together. I had no idea until I saw a photo online from a guy called Paul Reno. But Ian actually passed away 12 years ago today.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't even realise it was the 10th of August.
Yeah.
So I was writing all this, then I saw this picture pop up, and so I checked out the dates, and I was like, that is just ridiculously coincidental.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Ian Leonard, Maggie Leonard, and Joe Leonard. And Ian, as we spoke about before, was instrumental in Oasis FM.
Yeah.
Was also, I explained to you about being a session musician
Yeah.
in Eurovision with Brotherhood of Man, Save All Your Kisses for Me. Was at the Brewers Droop for God knows how many years with Paul Reno, who I mentioned, as a fantastic duo, resident duo there, back in the Ken and Chris Price days. And generally his musical influence over here, he was recognised as just being amazing.
I remember that was my first tease, and I wasn't even like really properly working on the station then, I don't think, or I was so new, and I'm obviously like post the Leonard era, didn't know them, didn't know the impacts they'd had, don't know like what I perhaps know now, but I remember the tribute. I remember somebody, I don't know who it was.
It was
singing.
Joe. Joe did the speech.
Somebody singing Nothing Compares to You, I believe.
It was Yasmin Khan.
Okay,
That's right, and
we
because we did the names of the people who passed away on the screen.
And I remember Joe's his daughter.
Yes.
Am I right? I remember her racing from backstage, like wanting to go and watch this moment. And then I was thinking, like, what's going on? So I went out and followed. And I just remember the feeling in that, like, the auditorium at that moment. It was intense. And again, like, I couldn't understand it, but I knew something special was happening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew that this was a big moment. And, like, looking at the faces all around, just really sort of engrossed in what was going on
very
on the
much
stage.
so.
So
Very much so.
even though I didn't know, I could understand that was kind of like a really
And Joe gave an
moment.
amazingly emotional speech.
Incredible, considering that would have only been like a few
months
weeks later.
Yeah,
really.
absolutely.
Wow.
And you know, and she's on the circuit as well. We've got to mention that she's been on the circuit. She used to be in We Will Rock You, who we mentioned in the newcomers, and obviously she used to be the leading lady in Showtime.
Yeah.
She used to work for me at Sound of Musicals, which is where she met her now husband Jason, but also as well Maggie. You know, we spoke about Maggie last week. You know, she wasn't only at Oasis for God knows how long, but she was also comparing around and about and used to sing with Ian at the Brewers. And she was a brilliant host, actually. I don't know if you know, but when they did boxing events over here, she would do it in Spanish. So she was doing it for Eurosport.
Wow.
I'm not being funny. She was doing
Wow.
this live on Eurosport in Spanish, in English,
Fantastic.
hosting it all. So, yeah.
What a woman. Wow.
Amazing family. And so that particularly, but when I saw it was 12 years ago today, I must admit it did bring a tear to my eye, because I was like, wow, that's mental.
Yeah.
2015, the following year, was actually the first time we ever gave it to a bar, and that was St Eugene's Bar.
Okay.
Which I think people forgot that at the time that place had been around for 20. I think it was their 25th anniversary. But St Eugene's back in the day was a mecca for all the entertainers. You know, before Mike, there was obviously other entertainers there, and after Mike, Ray Wild used to host. But it was just one of those places that it was a bit like getting a gig at Live at the Apollo. If you got a gig at St Eugene's,
you knew you were doing well.
You were doing well, you know. So that was quite rightly. 2016, in the 10th one, was the Dubliner Band. We gave the outstanding contribution to them. At the time, it was Paul Fitzpatrick, Danny Darcy, Daniel, and also Leon. Leon used to stand in for Paul on the keyboards.
Right.
And obviously they were there to receive it, and that was a good one as well. 2017, another act we spoke about before, actually, in the variety category, was Cracker. Do you remember we were talking about the Mick Jagger
Oh,
lips?
yes. Yeah.
So Phil and Tony, they got recognised. I think again it was at a time when, you know, either Harlequins had gone or they were leaving or something. I can't remember, but amazing. Were
they not the ones did Phil like have an illness?
That's right. Phil wasn't well, wasn't he?
And he
That's
was
right.
then unable to work.
To work, correct,
that,
yeah. And they got it that year. 2018 was when it changed to Spirit of the Tees. So it changed from Outstanding Contribution, and that was, I'm not going to say you ran out of people to give it to, but the general feeling from the public was, you know, there's so many other people who've done so much for the scene, unsung heroes, if you like, who don't get recognised. So could you do that? So we changed it to the Spirit of the Tees to open it up to more than just the entertainers. And the first year was Dave Michaels. Now, I think that was the year when it was the Tees Does Cheese.
Okay.
So it couldn't go to anyone else, could it, Jen?
Not really, no.
But at the same time, though, in all fairness to Dave is one of the hardest working people I've ever met. He epitomises the circuit. He lives for it, loves it. At the time as well, before obviously AI and everyone else, he was doing nearly everyone's posters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brilliantly. I mean, now he's involved with the Tees full time.
Yeah.
You know, he's responsible for all the graphics, the videos, the videography, the animation, and you know we love it for that.
Yeah.
But he deservedly got recognised.
Yeah.
So that was 2018.
And do you think he would have been someone that perhaps wouldn't have been recognised for outstanding contribution? Like it took that name change to be.
Yes, because I think because he does more than just sing on the circuit.
Yeah.
It's a broader. And also because it said cheese.
Yeah.
He won't mind me saying that.
I
It's
don't
not
think
lost
he
on
will.
him. It's not lost on him. He claims that's the only reason, but it's not, Dave, just so you know. In 2019 was Helping Hands.
Okay.
Helping Hands charity, who we know have done huge
Loads,
amounts. We know there's a lot of charities out there that have, particularly since 2020.
Yeah.
But, you know, Helping Hands have always done a lot, and also embraced using, obviously, people from the entertainment scene as well. And Liz Montague was there too. accept the award, which was great. 2021, after COVID, the Christmas one was the Tenerife 6. Do you remember?
Yes, that was my first year.
Yeah.
That was my first ever year.
And if you remember,
backstage.
Jen, we had Dee. Dee was talking about that on the Entertainment Pod.
Yeah, I do.
Which, joking apart, Dee's was probably one of the best Entertainment Uncovered, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's fascinating. Again, what a woman. Like, we're so privileged to have these amazing queens on the circuit.
The Queen of Green, isn't it?
Queen of Green.
Queen of Green,
So, the Tenerife 6, if you don't know, were Peter Hoey, Paul Fitzpatrick, Billy McCracken, Fergal, Dee Daniels, and Liam from the Temple Bar. And they raised thousands online, didn't they? For different people, different causes, different situations. Kept a lot of people's sanity going, including their own. Yeah. You know, and really brought together the community during, you know, a hard time.
Lockdown and everything. Yeah.
Again, I think they were the only people we could recognise that year, weren't
they? Absolutely. Because there was a lot of stuff done online that, you know.
But we did a separate category for best online show, which Roxy won.
That's correct.
You know,
and I do remember that one because again, it was the first time I'd ever met Fergal, and he just was so eloquent when he was talking about what they'd done, and so it was. And then one of the best interviews I've done with somebody who really knows what his stuff, really knows what these guys do, and was really grateful as well that they were able to help out, and they were really deserving that year.
Absolutely. 2022, again for money raised, but this time for Live Pause, was Leslie Moore, aka Elvis.
Elvis, yeah.
And you know, he has raised thousands by collecting in loose change, by collecting money at the end of his shows. I think he's over 10,000 now. Some stupid amount. It's ridiculous. And he fully deserved to get recognised. But the best bit was, he left. He left early.
He did.
His moments of glory, which he's always wanted, he'd gone home.
I remember the hunt. Because they was like, I think I saw him outside, and suddenly everybody's racing around trying to find him. Like, no, he's gone.
The irony is, you can normally never get him off stage. We couldn't get him on stage. He'd gone home.
He'd gone home. Yeah.
Gutted.
He has got a reputation, doesn't he? For like, he's meant to be doing a 45-minute gig 3 hours later. I'll do another one. It's all right. I'm having a lovely time.
Yeah. Maybe it was a good thing because his acceptance speech could have gone on. But we love him, and the dogs have benefited massively.
Absolutely.
In fact, when we had Mark and Sarah in here, they credited him, didn't they?
Did,
for what he'd raised. 2023 was Paul Price. Yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah, because this was my first Spirit of Teas that I gave out, and I remember.
Of course, from hosting.
Yeah, because I was hosting, and I remember reading it out, and I could see him in the back. And again, it's like that moment when you're talking about someone, and then
they suddenly realise
it couldn't have been anyone else, and then people all around him started all gathering around, and you could see it just getting a
after
bit
doing
emotional.
150 years of the Blues Brothers show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
50 years,
Yeah, so I remember
well deserved
that
though, because again, when we had Paul in and we were talking about when he came on the Entertainment Uncovered pod, which all are available on Spotify and our websites. You know, he was talking about back to the early 80s with his parents and how they first got the Brewers Droop when there was nothing around there. Do you remember?
Yeah, bringing baked potatoes. They did baked potatoes, and that was their thing, and people just went nuts for it. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, bringing the roast dinner to...
In 2024 was one of my favourites, and I think it was one of my favourites because you didn't expect it, was Tracy.
She was naked backstage.
I think it's funny because... people have put her forward so many times, but it had to be the right time. Mm-hmm. And also, she'd always turn around to people and gone, there's no way I think she said it to you, Steve.
She did.
I'll never win it whilst I'm involved in it. Yeah, so just forget about it.
Yeah.
And as you say, she was backstage.
I don't know if fully naked, but she was about done. Like, obviously it was towards the end.
They finished the show.
They all finished. She'd got everyone sort of cleared out, doing her bits and bobs, and I think she was walking around with no shoes on. She had I think no bra on.
I think Tilly said to her, didn't she?
It was in there because she was going to go because I think her kids had been in the show, and they were going, and she was like, well, I'm done, I'm going to as well go. And it was me and John, we ended up having to say to Tilly, look, Tracy, you need to keep
Don't let her go.
So Tilly was trying to keep her backstage, and again, one of them, I think she wasn't really listening to what was going on the stage, and then ended up coming out all like dazed and confused with no shoes on to accept the award. So yeah, it was one of my favourites as well. And I think I'm quite close with Tracy, and Tracy's done a lot for me. Me having to read out the Spirit. I felt emotional. You know what I'm like? I'm a prepper as well. Even when I've been going through my cue cards, just reading them, I'd get a bit choked up.
Aww.
She had no emotions whatsoever because I think she was just all like, what?
But you see, it's like that for me with the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
because obviously very often I'm writing about people who have been very close to who've passed away.
Yeah.
And, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Even though it's prepped and all the rest of it. And, you spoke about when we did the, obviously the people who passed away that year, which we did more than once.
Okay.
We used Time to Say Goodbye. Dom sang it once. We've done a few. We stopped it after COVID because obviously so many people had lost so many people close to them. Yeah. Maybe it's something we could bring back. I don't know. We'll go on to that in a minute. But it was an emotional one, wasn't it? But one of my favourite ones was also last year. Yeah. Which was, of course, Joe and Dean from Princess Dies. Yeah. Let's be honest. They went through so much shit.
Yeah.
From buying the bar, doing the bar, having to close the bar because of COVID, being able to open again, having to close again because the ceiling collapsed, having to redo the bar again. But I think the bit that got everyone was the fact that they relocated to 2 different places over a period of time, really to cater for their customers and staff and keep everything going. Yeah. And I think that was so commendable. And everyone was so
I think it was as well
behind them.
Yeah, and their stoicism in the face of absolute
adversity.
Yeah. I think because a lot of us felt it was deserved because if it was us, we'd have given up. We'd have been like,
a lot of people
screw
would.
This.
A lot of people would.
I think they were close to it.
But I get it because it was one thing after the other and the other, and you just.
Well, also
don't
forget,
and they just carried on.
They'd also not long taken over the Ruby Slipper.
Yeah.
And that had to close as well, and that only reopened 2 months ago, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
In fact, you were doing bingo there the other day.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was a good one. Yeah. It's fun. It's a good time. But I think we used to have an advert for Princess Dies, and it's like, come as a customer, leave as a friend. And I think they literally epitomise that. So when I was doing the bingo, Joe has been along a few times to it because often they've got customers that come along and she knows them so, and she knows everybody. Like, you can just tell it is family.
And don't you love that with Joe as well? She's exactly the same with everyone.
Yeah.
There's no front, no hidden. Joe's just Joe.
Yeah.
And I love her for that.
Yeah.
I love both of them. Love them for that. I think they're brilliant.
Yeah.
But, we're not doing the Spirit this year. All right?
Okay.
We've decided to rest the Spirit of the Tees because we introduced the Hall of Fame 2 years ago.
That's right.
And obviously it started to get a little bit like you're doing the Hall of Fame and the Spirit. So we're just doing the Hall of Fame this year with the Motown and Disco Divas theme. But we'll see what we do for the 20th next year. Maybe there could be something special for that. But I think when you look at the people that have been honoured over the years, I don't think there's any question about who's received the awards. Yeah. They've all been
There's no arguments there when you look at the stories and the backstories.
They've all been extremely popular.
Yeah. Yeah. Has it always been quite an easy decision, like year on year?
No,
I bet it hasn't.
No, not at all. Because particularly as we do ask people to put forward people, and obviously sometimes they put forward people that you think, God, never thought of them.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
And or for the reasons why you never thought of them, for example. So it's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily just come down to the Tees panel. We are influenced by what people put. But sometimes it can be. The Joe and Dean one, I think, we kind of knew that would be a worthy and popular choice. So, yeah. Okay. But we just thought, no, let's rest it this year.
Okay.
Let's rest it this year.
And see what happens next year.
Indeed.
Right, let's finish on something just a little bit fun because, guys, I'm a bit late to the party, but I've finally been to SIAM by night.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Chris,
this year.
Chris, you were first because you went to the opening night.
I did, yep.
I went not last Friday before. And then, what did you think of it? Because you asked me what I thought of it. What did you think of it?
Obviously, I've
especially as you've got a hack.
My hack,
yes,
and it has been the heat wave. And it was actually, I was still cold. Spoiler alert.
Oh, really?
I went with my little boy, and I put stuff in a locker, then I took a bag round with some water and a jacket. He didn't need the jacket. I was like, okay, I'm going to wear it. I was freezing. But
do you mind me asking, how was it? Because my niece is here at the moment with her other half and whatever, and they went on Tuesday, which obviously it's not on Sunday, Monday, first day back, and they stayed an hour and a bit because it was just ridiculously busy. How was it for you?
So I've been a few times before.
In the years before?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It was the busiest I've experienced.
This year it seems to be.
Really?
It seems to be this year.
Because the Friday I went, and admittedly I had taken some advice from the man who
From
was,
the elk, yep.
From the man who was there from the opening. So I was like, right, give me the lowdown. What do I do? How am I going to effectively take 3 people who'd been to SIAM Park daytime in the years before and absolutely loved it and were determined to go daytime, and I said no, we're going nighttime.
Well, also,
I didn't want to look like an idiot.
Don't forget, this advice only came about because Sean and Luke, who I'm talking about, went the day before, went Thursday.
That's right.
So they went that day. In fact, I've got to give a shout out to Connor James, because they bumped into him in the queue. They were talking, and he went, "Oh, who's your uncle then?" And he went, "Oh, Chris Elkington." He went, "Oh, the big elk."
The big elk. Well,
thanks, Connor.
The big elk's
I'll have
advice.
you know, Connor, we are in a size. What we're now, size medium or something, aiming for a small.
Let's not.
But that's why, I said, if
And
you're going to
their
go,
advice,
get there early.
So we did quarter past 7.
But I will just
the
say
queues
this,
were-
not too much earlier, because they won't let you into the car park.
Oh, right.
So I got there like just before
Now
7,
I
and they wouldn't let me
parked.
in.
Well, I went to park in Magma, in the car park
all
of the
closed
Magma,
off.
and they've closed the whole of that parking thing off. So I parked on the scrapland next to the police station.
Yeah.
And just walked over the bridge. It's not a very long walk, but it saved me €7, and I could able to park. So I'm a bit tight when it comes to things like that. I'm not paying €7 for parking.
Wow.
Anyway,
Unbelievable.
Mind blown.
Mind blowing. That's what I was thinking.
So I walked. So there was 2 queues of online ticket. If you already have your tickets, join the end of one of those
This
queues.
is Steve's hack, by the way.
And then there was a queue in the middle for purchasing tickets on the night. Now, there is a hack here, because if you join the end of the queue at 7:15, before the security guards have come out, what the security guards do is they then create 2 lines with tables for you to have your bag searched.
Yeah.
So what I did was I bought my ticket, went through, and then I saw nobody had
So what you're
joined
saying is
the
you jumped the
second-
queue?
Yes, because nobody had joined the second line.
But in all fairness, we were talking about inside,
Yes.
not getting in.
Well,
We were
inside-
talking about inside, weren't we, Jen?
But-
So how was it for you Friday, Jen?
So it was so fun, really good. Love the experience of just being there at night time. We was on the, what's it called, Saifa, like at the very top as the sun was setting. So that was a beautiful moment. But yeah, like I say, it was busier than I have experienced it. I don't know if they will up their nights in the future to just do it all week.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
there's
feel like they
a
cool
call for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we were
Staffing, though,
good. So we were good because, again, the advice we were given, we had one person with us who wasn't interested in going on any of the rides at all. So we were lucky. We didn't do the locker. So all 4 of us
Yeah, because the
walked
queues for that are massive, aren't they?
really big, straight away. It's the first place
But
people
again,
go.
if you get in there first, I got a locker
So we
straight
walked-
away.
yeah,
But as
and
I came out, the locker queue.
we
was
walked
insane.
straight-
Incredible experience, though, isn't it?
It's just
It's a great
so
night.
fun.
We walked straight to the beach and we set our thing right in the middle, kind of like where so you could see right to the middle of the thing. So that whole experience of the lasers and the rest of it, first rate, really, really good.
One thing I would say, like we got our lock on, we went to our first ride, and obviously they were quite strict. Like they will not open it until 8 o'clock, so we had a few minutes. Some of the lifeguards are really moody. Like everyone's there to have a good time. Like stop shouting at me. Like I'm doing anything wrong. Like we went on my little boy wanted to do the Naga races first, which is where there's like 6 and you go on a thing. I understand it's closed, but we went to pick up a
Oh, is that the blue mat?
The mat.
Oh, I never knew that had a name.
Naga races. So we went to pick, and there's just like, this lifeguard came over, no, put it down. I was like, no, I know, I'm just getting my mat ready. And wasn't allowed to touch the mat.
God.
And then a lot of the time, it is just like they won't acknowledge, there's like, and I just thought, that can really, don't get me wrong, there were some of them that were fun and made the experience, but I just think that slight tweak in personality can really change your
Do
experience.
you think the moody ones had been there all day and were likely to carry on there?
I
And,
don't
and the
know.
guys who were fun were the night shift who'd just started? Because I remember going to the bar and saying, "Are you open?" And the barman just went, "I don't think I ever closed." It's like, obviously worked there all day. Knew he was going to be
What day
working
is
there
it?
all night.
Maybe that's why they're closed 2 days a week. It's a staff
Could
thing.
be, yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
But worth it. It's so good, so much fun.
So let's just finish off, because we've all been. What's your favourite SIAM Park ride?
Go on, Steve.
I am going to say, just for absolute, my ears were full of water, but I laughed all the way, and that's The Singer. And it's the one where you go round, but you also then get pushed uphill. All the jets of water pushing.
It's like a bobsleigh, isn't it?
Yeah, so much fun. But yeah, there was water in my ears for like days afterwards. But it was just so much fun.
It's really
good.
similar to the Saifa, though, isn't it? Don't you feel like you've been on one,
feel
you've been
like
on
there's
another?
there is
similarities,
elements, yeah.
but there's a
But then
race
again,
element on the Saifa, isn't
But then
there?
again, there's big ring ones that are the same.
True.
I mean, I like the Patong Rapids, the one that goes in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of they're all in the dark at Siam Nights, but the reason why I like and I like the dragon as well because I like the big drop.
Dragons are good.
But the Patong Rapids is it Patong?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Mekong and Patong.
Patong Rapids, and the reason why I like it is because water parks are the only time where it's an advantage to be a big guy. Because you go faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you've got other people in the ring, you literally can steer it, and you can make it go right up the sides, and you can see their faces as they're proper cacking it, particularly if they've not been before. I did used to like the lazy river till I had a serious injury.
There was an incident.
A serious injury, which we spoke about before.
How is your little toe?
My little toe's all right now, thank you.
Good,
yeah,
glad to
it's
hear
fine.
it.
Skin's grown back.
Good,
Yeah.
yeah.
It might have been a blister, I'm not sure. But anyway, no, the Patong Rapids for me, I really like that.
Mine is one you just mentioned, the dragon. I love it. The dragon and the volcano.
Original the best, isn't it?
Just love it.
Yeah, the original.
It's just that drop in it.
Yeah, just love it. But the bit, yeah, it's just fun. Let us
And
know
well,
your favourite.
there is a reason why it is the world's number one water park. It's
and
rightly
really
so.
exclusive what they do at night time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never heard of any other water park in the world. There probably is, maybe like.
And it is
Dubai
plenty
or
warm enough. I
something,
must
but-
admit, the Singer did feel cold, but the lazy river was a perfect temperature.
Yeah, it feels heated.
And then the rings light up as well, which just makes it even cooler. And there's lasers and.
But I don't find it very lazy.
Is it a bit too exciting for you?
No, you kind of have to too much effort.
And there's a lot of people pushing.
Yeah,
and then there's
it's
people
not a very
getting
lazy.
out and-
It's
I
not.
must
It's
admit,
not very lackadaisical.
Yes, exactly. But I think people need to chill out and be a bit more lackadaisical. It's called. We should rename it the lackadaisical river. There you go.
I actually agree with that. Right, I think we should end it there.
No, can I mention two things?
Oh, two.
Yeah, just
Blimey,
quickly.
go on.
Two people. Yeah. Firstly, I want to mention Blue. Blue Travell.
Yeah.
People may have seen that. Obviously, don't really know what's happened. That obviously she's built up Detroit's, and for reasons beyond her control, is no longer involved in it. But I think it really. What really struck with me was some of the posts, particularly Stefan D putting the fact that she'd done so much good for the soul scene in the area, and the acts are all clumping together and boycotting the bar, refusing to work there, stopping to work there, and this, that, and the other. And it's just one of those things sometimes that as a community we do come together and support our own. And I was just really touched by that. And even more so by yesterday, the sad passing of Leeway.
Yeah.
Who I don't think you two will
I don't, but I've read an
know.
awful lot about. And
He used to
seen
work
the
for
photos.
Oasis for a short period of time.
Okay.
When we first started Oasis, he was on. So he'd been here a long time. He worked on Waves FM, and I can't remember if it was on Oasis or Gold because we had Gold FM for a short period. But he did some work on the radio with us. Most people will know him as the compere from Bojangles in Los Cristianos. One of the funniest people, naturally funny people. If you want a dad joke, he's got all of them. He knows all of them, but tells them really well. Yeah? Life and soul of the party. Andy Morn posted a picture of the two of them dressed up as Chubby Brown. Because at one point there was 3 Chubby Brown tributes here. Andy Morn, Leeway and Gary Gobstopper. But
And
for me,
Chubby Brown himself.
And
probably
Chubby
as
is
well
so-
coming
yeah.
along. And obviously he's been ill for quite a while. Lost his battle to his illness on Sunday, and it's been really touching when you see all the different comments and statements.
There's
and
been so
pictures
many
and,
as well. I feel like I know who he is, and I feel like I know a bit about him, and he's obviously a tremendous.
And I just
part of
felt
people's lives,
on a day when we're talking about Ian Leonard, on the day he passed, and the fact that we've lost another one.
Yeah.
That I wanted to mention him and maybe dedicate the show to him.
That's a nice way to end it.
Really
Let's
nice,
leave it there. Thanks for listening to the Tenerife Pod.